understanding about life, for me, a better understanding, a more profound understanding about God. And this enabled me to eventually find God myself and to come to a belief and an experience, personal experience with the existence of God. And it was because of that that I really changed, and it was because of that that I ultimately joined the unification movement.
В течение недели вы читали лекции советским студентам, вам приходилось с ними общаться. Как вы считаете, проявляют ли советские студенты интерес к движению объединения?
Well, you know, it's very hard to say at this point because this is just a very introductory program that we're giving here. And I haven't had a chance to speak to a lot of Soviet students here, but I'm a group leader for one group of 10 Soviet students, and my experience with my team of students seems that they seem very interested in the ideas. We've had a lot of great conversations, and I'm even surprised at the depth and the quality of the conversations that we have.
Как вы считаете, если движение объединения получит распространение в Советском Союзе, не будет ли это отвлечением для молодых людей от здоровой профессиональной карьеры? Не потеряет ли наша страна талантливых физиков, математиков, инженеров, юристов и так далее?
My opinion is no, they won't. Because religion for me didn't replace my desire to do my other professions. I became a businessman. I have my own business in addition to working with the unification movement. And I think most people in the unification movement that I know have a career and they have activities that they're involved in. I think coming to not just religion, but coming to a belief in God or coming to more an experience with God may give a person more creativity and more incentive to go out to society and to use their skills, to use their ability to serve society in even a better and even in a larger way than they could have before.
Считаете, почему движение объединения зачастую подвергается резкой критике в западной прессе?
In my experience, criticism came against the unification movement primarily due to a lack of communication between people that were, in a sense, opposing what Reverend Moon was doing because of a misunderstanding of his teaching, primarily. People didn't really understand what he was teaching and what he was trying to do. So I think this was the fundamental reason. Secondly, in my opinion, this country of America, a lot of people don't like it when an Oriental man came to America and was able to point out America's problems or America's weak points and then be very successful in gaining many American young people to support and follow him. This was kind of embarrassing, I think, for many American Christian leaders as well as other American leaders. And so I think people were jealous and people felt threatened by Reverend Moon because they didn't understand him at all. And I think those were some of the primary reasons why opposition came. And then, as I mentioned before, in the media in America, the media very quickly picked up on these various rumors and various misunderstandings about the movement and made front page news out of them. And so very quickly through the media, many Americans, without ever really understanding Reverend Moon's teaching, became opposed to Reverend Moon, or they began to think, well, he must be a bad person. You know, so it's complicated and not easy to explain all the different events that took place. But basically, I feel it's due to a lack of communication, a lack of understanding of really what this movement is teaching and trying to do, in my opinion.
Вы женаты?
Yes, I'm married.
А есть ли у вас дети?
Yes, we have one child, one son. Want to see a picture?
В каком духе вы будете воспитывать своего сына?
I will try. My wife and I are trying our best. He's only 3 years old, so we have a long way to go still. But we will try our best to raise him in the unification tradition, because I believe the unification tradition is a very broad tradition that respects the views of other religions and respects the views of other people. So I believe the unification tradition emphasizes the value of every person's culture and every person's religious experience. And if I had to give my son anything, I would want to give him that broad-minded ability to respect other people's traditions and respect other people's beliefs, and to try to also develop an awareness to try to live for the sake of other people and believe in God.
Я слышала, что некоторые молодые люди уходят из движения объединения и даже начинают вести активную борьбу против него. Как вы можете объяснить этот процесс?
Many people have come to the unification movement and heard the unification principle and not become an active person within the unification movement, but they found something of value there and continued their life in some other area. We have educated literally thousands, tens of thousands of people. You know, far more people have heard the unification principle than have actively joined and have worked with our movement. Okay, for the people that have opposed this movement, most of the ones which I know didn't leave on their own free will, actually. What happened to them was they were actually abducted from this movement and subjected to psychological pressure to oppose the unification movement and to leave this movement. In particular, there are certain what I call hate groups in existence in America and also in Europe, which actively try to destroy the unification movement because they believe that Reverend Moon is evil. They believe that the unification movement is evil. And they believe that the best thing they can do for people is to destroy the unification movement. And so they abduct young people from the unification movement. They subject them against their will to psychological torment and pressure to try to force those people to change their religious point of view. To first of all reject the belief in God, reject their idea and understanding about the unification movement, and then to work with them to oppose the unification movement. Okay? So most of the people that I know that are actively opposing the unification movement went through this kidnapping, abduction, psychological pressure to get them to support, you know, the agenda of these hate groups. But in my experience, it's actually an extremely small number of people. It's not a large number of people. It's, I know of 2 or 3, and perhaps there are more, but it's not a very large number of people.
Thank you very much. That's all. А сейчас я хочу познакомить вас с семьей миссис и мистер Пьер и их зять мистер Бобрицкий. Мистер Бобрицкий, давно ли вы стали участником движения объединения?
I joined the movement in January of 1979 in San Diego, California.
Что привело вас в движение объединения?
I hope so. It was my influence, yeah.
Мне хотелось бы спросить вас, мистер и миссис Пьер, какие идеи движения объединения вы считаете наиболее привлекательными для вас?
I think the attitude that I see exhibited toward God Himself and the responsibility that we have to do God's work on the earth in a very practical way. And I feel that this is probably the most significant influence as far as my joining the movement is concerned.
Я знаю, что у вас 8 человек детей. Как вы считаете, станут ли они тоже участниками движения объединения?
I don't know. I would hope so. However, they will all go their own direction. they do have their own beliefs, but I would hope that they would join the movement. But as I say, it's strictly up to them.
That's all. Thank you very much.
Oh, that was short and sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Вам спасибо.
It's simple. Not just simple, but the opposite of arrogant. You know what arrogant is? Who don't think they're better than somebody else.
Arrogant это что, тщеславный? Arrogant это
Простой это не значит, что просто устроенный, а вот именно простой в смысле. Вот будь попроще. Вот именно
loving himself too much.
это не будь simple,
Yeah,
а
the
будь
arrogant
humble.
means you love yourself, you think you're better than other people. So humble is the opposite of that.
Okay.
And so these are the kinds of people. They were pure in heart. They were humble. These are the kind of people they could see something in Jesus. They could see, oh, Jesus, he's a good person. You know? They could see the love that Jesus had, and they were willing to follow him. They were attracted to this because they weren't thinking about themselves, their own position, their own power. Those are the things that got in the way of other people. So to really